Go figure. I think we have a little miscommunication between the Social Security Administration and people going to the Social Security Administration to make sure they're getting everything they're entitled to. All right. So my name is Ed Weir. I'm a former manager of the Social Security Administration. I help people with all things Social Security, retirement, Medicare, all throughout the country. I've helped hundreds of thousands of people. Let's make sure you're getting everything you're entitled to. Give me a call, schedule an appointment, and let's see how I can help you out. But one of some of my very popular videos are about, and I'll put one up there, about making sure you're receiving everything you're entitled to from Social Security. And one of the first things I say is make sure your work history is correct. All that money you paid into Social Security all through those years, make sure that's correct because that's how they determine how much your monthly benefit is. Again, for retirement, your high 35 years of earning. It calls every day. It says, yeah, well, I worked really, I made a lot of money my last few years. My benefit should be more, made over, $100,000 my last 3 years. Well, that doesn't matter. It does, but it doesn't matter. It's over the high 35 years. So the last 3 years may bring up the average, but again, it's over the high 35 years. And the most important thing to make sure you get everything you're entitled to, again, with everybody doing everything online and during, the whole pandemic, people aren't going down and, to the office, what we used to do. I've taken hundreds of thousands of retirement claims. And what we used to do when people come in the office, we would print off their work history, everything they paid into Social Security. We'd put it right on the desk there and say, hey, take a look at this. Does this look okay? You've got a gap there in 1982. You've got work all throughout. You work for 35 years, but in 1982 you've got zero earnings. What's going on there? And you say, oh yeah, I took off and went to Europe or whatever the case may be. Or oh, I don't know. No, I worked in 1982. Oh, I changed employers that year, and then I went back. And all you have to do is that's pretty easy to fix. All you have to do is I've fixed a lot of these. Basically, what it is probably someone mistyped your Social Security number for that particular year for your W-2 somewhere along the line. You, your accountant, tax person, Social Security, IRS, whatever the case may be. Because what happens with a W-2, it goes from essentially your employer, it goes to the IRS, and the IRS notifies Social Security, and we put it on your record, and that's how we make the calculations. Somewhere along the line, somebody mistyped your Social Security number, and those earnings are what is called what's called a suspense file. So they're sitting out there in suspense, just waiting for someone to say, "Hey, those are my earnings." And how do you find them? Well, you say, "Hey, no, I work for Acme, construction company that year," and pretty easy. We kind of look it up. We find the employer identification number and we look for that particular year and we say, how much you make that year? Oh, I made about $45,000. Oh, coincidence. Yeah, got $45,000, has your name on it. Just the last two digits, Social Security number were kind of transposed. All right, I'll go ahead and put it on your record and there you go, recalculate. And there you go, you get some more money. Okay, so suspense file, there's a lot of money in the suspense file. So just sitting out there waiting for people to raise their hand and say, hey, that's my money. Again, we have to check to make sure it's your name and everything like that and confirm it's actually you. But it's very easy. I've done it too many times to count. Okay. All right. But how do you check that? You get your work history. If you set up an online account, you go onto your online account, click the little earnings record button, and it pops up kind of like the old statements they used to send out once a year. That's how you check it. But a lot of people don't have access to computers. It's very difficult to set up an online account. And Social Security makes it difficult for a reason. So other people don't go in there and pretend to be you. But the problem is, so I tell people, okay, you can't go on there. Call the 800 number or go to your local office and tell them you need a work history. And here is where the disconnect happens. Social Security charges for a work history that is non-programmatic. So it's not part of a program. So what we used to get all the time in our office and all offices throughout the country, police department, Metro, they require as part of the application process for the candidate to go down and get a 10-year work history. So a detail of the last 10 years this person worked is part of the background check and everything, right? So that has nothing to do with Social Security. That has nothing to do. That person's not filing for retirement or disability or anything like that. They need it for their own personal reasons. So Social Security, whether you like it or not, they have determined that that is, that's a service that's not really part of, the Social Security Act or any amendment since. So that takes time to produce those. So they charge, $100 or so. And if you want it certified, it's another $44 plus, and change it every year. Yeah, so that costs, and so you know it is what it is. But what is happening is I'm telling people throughout the country to check their work history, call up and get it, go down to the office and get it, and people are calling me back and said they're going to charge me for it. That's because that's where the disconnect comes in. Tell them that this is part of your program. You filed for retirement benefits, disability benefits, survivor benefits, whatever the case may be. You filed, you're receiving them, and you just want to confirm that everything was done correctly. You did it, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and you don't remember whether you checked your work history, and you just want to double check it. And tell them, I don't have access to the computer and stuff like that. Tell them it's for a Social Security program, retirement disability, right? No, this is not for, my own personal or, a job application or anything like this. I just want to make sure. I want the statement that Social Security used to send out every year, maybe convey it like that. Remember the statement they used to send out every year? I want that type of statement. I want you to print that off. So be, a little bit, I guess, explain it a tad bit more, because Social Security is getting a lot of new employees. They're trying to hire and bring up the workforce to kind of reduce the wait times and all the rest of it. So there's a lot of new employees. And if somebody goes in there, it just says, I need my earnings record. They think work history, earnings record, and they don't know the difference. And they say, that'll be $144 or whatever the case may be. So tell them, no, that's not what I want. I want my work history. I want my earnings record. I want my earnings record to make sure the money you are giving me is correct. Okay. All right. So hopefully that fixes that. And remember, please share my videos. I've got over 140 videos out there. They don't do anybody any good if people don't watch them. So please share, comment, like, hit the little bell, all that kind of good stuff. That way the videos go out to more people and more people can get everything they paid for. All right. Have a beautiful day.